Started off with dads. That was the main thing. There was a guy who I went to school with that one day in 89, maybe early 90, called me and said, "Hello Pytten, do you remember me?" He had become a dad. And he said, "My son has a band." And then he said, "Any possibility for you to record this band?" I said, "Of course it is, no problem, you come to me." And he said, "Okay." And I said, "What kind of music is this?" "Oh," he said, he didn't say black metal or anything like that, but he said, it's quite hard, it's quite dark." And I said, "Good, will be nice." "Don't say so," he said, "until you listen to it." So it started off with a dad being in touch. And I started off with this band, did this band, it was Old Funeral actually. And then Ivar came along some years later, and he was an accountant. He was a guitarist, of course he was a guitarist, but he was an accountant as well, because he sat in the back of the studio and doing the books. We worked so and so long on this, and so how long time we're going to use for it. And then suddenly his dad turned up as well. So whatever he did, he had it from his dad. You do so and so and so, and these dads, they were really into what's going to happen to our kids. This is, maybe they thought, I never discussed it with them, this is a dangerous music, this is some strange things going on here. And if you like to know, the first dad, he's just standing over there, so he's still into the music. Mr. Bratzat. Well, anyway, it turned out with Ivar's dad, he wanted to know what these people were doing, taking care of them. These was kids. They were, what's your age when you started off?
First time I went to the studio with you, I was 15, yeah.
15, yeah. So, then you need a dad. If you have one and he's like Ivar's dad, it's very good. So that's where it started. And then the music was, I'm going to speak about the music a bit later. Then we started off with these names. I met these guys through dads. I met them, we were working, so I never knew all these artist names, like all these strange black gods, German, no, not German. What's it called? Like Roman, Greek, these artists. I don't know.
Du har jævlig bærende stemmer bak deg, Grutle. Kan du holde kjeft I 2 sekunder? Takk.
You see, it's Grutle. There's nothing else here. It's Grutle. Well, anyway, I'm at this, and the only artist name I really remember is from Old Funeral, and that's called Pytten, meaning the toad. So no big strange gods or anything. Well, to the music. It started off with Old Funeral, and they they came to me. We did a studio setup, and then they started playing. I was okay. What goes on? It was these crazy kids just playing whatever they. They played as much as they could in a short time as possible, and a lot of notes. So my main attitude to recording this music after a while was like, okay, I have to tidy it, I have to make it possible for the world to listen to. So I started cleaning up. I didn't say anything about the playing. What they did was okay, but I started to look into it through working on frequencies. So what you doing? It's okay, just joking.
I know that sorry to interrupt, but this is too good of a analog to what happened. I know that some newspapers were really eager to get your photo back in the days.
Yeah.
When all this stuff was happening, and they were looking for like the evil mastermind behind the black metal.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had a paper in a town just north of Bergen called Førde, and there was this guy who he had this dedication. He was thinking, okay, Pytten is working in Bergen. He's kind of masterminding all these kids. He's telling them what to do. So we had a worldwide net working on how to introduce Satan. It was really, he was a dark guy. So, actually we were just working on music, weren't we? Eva, just music, but that was fine. But, recording this stuff, I will show you one thing.
Exciting. It's kind of a relief to have somebody say, I'm going to show you one thing, and it's not taking off their pants. That's what I'm used to on the tour bus.
Well, I come from a much easier part of the music. We never take off our pants until we get home. This is a microphone. This microphone has been through most of it. It started off, it even has the mark of Grieg Hall, both in partly a sticker, and then with handwritten carvings, and then it got another one, which is this microphone has recorded most of it all. It doesn't work anymore, but still it has. So this is some sort of symbol of black metal. SM57, lovely microphone. Okay then, but I mean, cleaning up all this stuff, meaning I was working on frequencies, but I really soon started to work on the rooms. Like, you have to have a room to record it. I remember one time I was working with Immortal, and Harald Navdal, sorry people, I don't know his artist name.
Demonas.
He was really into making a strange kind of guitar sound. So we just running about, doing all in the basement, ending up with a PA sound, really old PA speaker with these hard, what's it called?
Cones?
Tweeter horn? Yeah. Recording guitar, which should be impossible, but it ended up being really cold, really strange, and it worked. And then we recorded we needed some wind, some cold wind. So we turned off the ventilation in one room and had a microphone in the door, and we just pushed the door so it got like this. It was just a door and ventilation. That's the way we worked. I mean, it was really creative, really okay. And another thing that I thought was really strange, I don't think Enslaved was really involved in that, but they had made some of it. That's the intro. People made the intro. It was made at home. It was made digital with huge bass, a lot of sounds, synthesizers, and we had the intro. And when we played it in the studio, it was like, wow, this is fantastic. And then the band came in, and the band, this is the intro, and the band started playing, and it was like, nothing could match it, just impossible. And to convince the people in the studio, guys, you're the important part, not the intro. We had some really hard discussions with some of the bands on that. The only one that actually matched it was Emperor, because they were from the first of really introducing synthesizers big and wide. But the intro and then the band coming in, that was strange, really strange. I didn't like it at all. I like the band. I didn't like the intro.
Is it true?
Sorry.
Sorry. Is it true that someone at some point wanted to go to get it necro enough that they wanted to use buckets as part of the drum kit instead of toms? Or is that an urban legend?
Well, it could have happened. I don't remember, but bloody hell, we were working hard on toms. I mean, toms, Jesus. Oh, well, that was the right word in this, I think, but we were working hard on it. We take off the bottom skins, put in the microphones in, we did whatever we needed to do. But buckets, yeah, maybe. Maybe, Eva.
And also another urban legend that happens to be true is the biggest newspaper, or I guess like the most prominent one, Bergen in Bergen. They had a nice review of the first Bergen album, where they suggested what you should do. You should have something inserted into a certain part of you, right? Producenten skulle hatt i ræven.
Well, it was this guy, he's probably never heard this kind of music before, and when he heard it, I think, this has got to be some bloody stupid assholes, don't know what they're doing. And the end of the interview was, well, the producer should really be kicked up his arse as much as possible from as many people as possible. And that was me.
That's the start of, yeah.
So that was the start. I don't remember the album, but I mean, we had another. Was it Buxom? The first one, yeah. And we had another one with, I think that was one of the Emperor albums. That was an English critic said, like, and the guitar sounds like a swarm of bees. But I mean, that was supposed to be like that. The bees are like that. Okay.
Can we talk a little bit about the Mysteries of Satanas, that production?
Yeah, we can. Eva, I brought something today.
You did? Oh, shit.
These are my old files. I haven't opened them. This is this is Enslaved, December '93. Had never been opened. This is Buxom, like May '93. This is Satyricon. That was me and Sigurd. We started off I tried to mix an album with Sigurd, and we sat in Grigal, and then we realized, no, not this time. So next time I worked with was in 2005, which was a really good album. Immortal '93, Oh Funeral '91, Immortal '92. Haven't been opened. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what's in it, but I haven't read it for many years.
And these are all gifts.
And this is Mayhem. Actually, this is the file from Mayhem.
Okay.
So I'm going to open it now. I need my glasses. This is a historic moment. Okay, Eva, what you gonna ask me about?
First off, the drum sound, because
I'm going to do with black metal, and he just held up one of his thumbs and he said, Pytten, this one, nothing much it can do by itself. It all comes to the man. And what we did with drum sound in the Mysterious, actually, wow, this is a bit overwhelming even for me. This is a letter from Jan Oxel, which is drummer
Hellhammer,
in Hellhammer in Mayhem. And what we did, we set up the drums on the stage in Grieghallen, and for those who don't know anything about Grieghallen, it's a huge concert hall, and the stage is 9 stories high. I made a room approximately 6 by 6 meters with carpets coming down from the floor. So we had what comes from the sideway to the microphones was really nothing much, but it was open 9 stories up, and I had microphones really high. I think it's the highest overheads and drum recording microphones I ever had. And that was the main setting. And before we even started recording, Axel and me met in the studio. He went to a gym which we had in Grieghallen, and he was just working up. And then he came to me and said, "I'm ready now." Øystein and me was waiting. As soon as we were ready, we started recording. And I think the drum sound on that album is Axel, mainly, his drums, the way he tuned his drums, the way he thought about his drums. And another thing that's really important is, I mean, working with a low ceiling, that go, excuse me, that's what I had, they know what I'm talking about. But if you have a really, really lofty room, it's just fantastic. Because what you need in music to not getting bored is dynamics. The smaller it gets, the less dynamics. If it's just done digitally, no room, no air, it's hardly any dynamics at all. And if you listen to music which is really heavily produced, you can listen to it, it's really impressive when it starts, but give it 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and you're kind of losing interest. Probably before that as well, and that comes to dynamics, because dynamics is really an important part of people's life from early on. Sound coming from far away, coming close, which is up and down. This is so important. What's killed a lot of rock music is the compression in mastering. I mean, people. You know what it is, you know what I'm talking about. All you other, as soon as it comes to you, really impressive, it's still like that on the third or fourth song, it kills you. No good. But anyway, the drum sound, it's hard work actually. And what we did with the toms, Jan Axel knew every fucking beat he did on the toms. So we had a day, maybe 2 days, just him and me in the studio, and he was just re-recording or dubbing the toms, and he did it so exact you won't hear it. So it's the first recording, and then we did the toms on top of that. So hard work, and good recording equipment, and really good microphones, and a dedicated engineer and producer. for working in the studio, doing rock music, really straight, nothing special. He probably had some paddles. Actually, I don't remember. It wasn't. I mean, I've been into paddles, working with paddles. People having one paddle for doing the. Oh, you just have a look. For just doing the main sound, and then to get it even dirtier, you have a paddle before the paddle, and even a paddle before the paddle that you have before the paddle. So, losing dynamics. This was really straight on, and I mean really straight on. I'm working with people like this today, playing in a band, and they do Gibson Les Paul. They do a Marshall top, and they do a Marshall cab 4x12. Gang. That's the thing. That's what we did. For the solos, we were working in the main hall in Grieghallen, which is huge. It's a 1,600 seaters hall. And what we did was we put in one microphone, having a Marshall stack. Øystein was doing his solos, and we just move the microphone back and forth so we found the sound. So every reverb you hear on the solos on the Denisteris is actually the room in Grieghallen. We just moved it about until we found this is good, this suits the music, and then we did it. And that's the thing. When you work in the studio, you can do a lot of takes, but the important part very often is getting there. Like, you start working, you start searching what you want to hear in the end, and when you're done, you found the setting, you just do the recording, and doing the recording is often, time-wise, so much of all the work. Because when you have the right setting, you just do it, and it's lovely to do it. So then the good music comes out with this microphone.
I just want to round off with pretty abstract question, but what do you have an idea for, like, a common denominator for these bands that made it interesting to the point where it became sort of a worldwide phenomenon? Can you see something, because you've seen behind the scenes, so to speak, was there something in common?
Yeah, I would say dedication from the people who were in the bands. Really dedicated. They always tried to do a bit more what was possible. They had been thinking of the music. They have been talking about the music. They have been working on the music, and they have been playing, rehearsing the music, and then they came to the studio. And I was about to fulfill all these expectations, which was, I mean, sometimes it was really hard, because dedication takes you somewhere. And I think dedication from the musicians, writers, whatever they were, I think that's the most important thing. And for me to in a way catch it by listening. I never impose my ideas really hard, because I can catch the music, I can see things, I can bring it through. I mean, it's coming from music, loud music in one room, going into microphones, going into all these analog tapes that we started off with, or digital systems, bringing it out on a flat disc. Wow, that's scary. I mean, that was my main thing. This flat disc had to be like, okay people, you're gonna listen, you're gonna buy it, put it on. As soon as you heard it, you want to hear it one more time. So dedication from the band's musicians, and the way I tried to, when I started recording something out there, want to hear it once again. I think that's a combination, probably. And the rooms. In Grigal is lovely. It is.
Okay, Pytten, thank you so much for this interview. Please give a big hand to Pytten.